Do you know that the subconscious mind, which comprises of 95% of your thinking, runs your life? Handwriting comes from your subconscious mind. We say it is not your handwriting, it is your brain writing. Mainly when it comes to personality traits, the letter T, the letter Y, and the letter I, they play a very.
Hello, welcome to another conversation with me. And today we have Vijaya, who is a conscious awareness coach, and she's here to talk about her skills she used to test her patient or tell her patient who they are. And that skill is handwriting. Vijaya, please tell us more about yourself.
Thank you, Prema. I'm a conscious coach, and along with it, I'm a certified handwriting analyst. So, like Prema said, I can know a person's complete personality traits through their handwriting. And it's not just about finding the personality traits, it's also becoming aware which traits are working for you and which are not. And in case if you want to change any trait of yours, or if you want to bring about any change in your life, changing your handwriting can bring the change in your life. Every one of us know we write with our fingers and using the hand. So it's what happens, the signals from the brain reach to the tip of our fingers and our fingers move to write. So, since we have learned it in childhood how to write, most of our writing comes from our subconscious mind. Okay. So, do you know that the subconscious mind, which comprises of 95% of your thinking, runs your life? So, sometimes you end up thinking, why did I do that in that situation? Because you are reacting to the situation rather than responding. So that is how powerful your subconscious mind is. So when I say handwriting, it comes through your subconscious mind because you have been writing it since your childhood. And many of us, when we are making notes, when someone is teaching, you don't even need to see what you are writing. Your hand will do that for you. That's the muscle memory the hand has. Okay. So when I say you can change your personality by changing the way you write, what I mean is we call it as a reverse engineering. Where usually what happens, the signals from the brain will tell your fingers what to write. You listen or you see and you start writing. Here, what happens, this is a process called as graphotherapy, we say. So we make the person to write in a particular way, a particular patterns. We are making that person to move their hand in a particular way, wherein the signals go reverse. The way you're moving your hand, the signals go to the brain in a reverse way, and that is how the changes are going to happen when these signals go in the brain and trigger the specific neurological pathways. So this we call it as a reverse engineering, and lot of things are impacting your subconscious mind. Belief system is the main thing. So when we say graphotherapy, it will take time to change someone's traits. So you can't expect any magic. Like it's not like you pop a pill and your pain is gone. So it will take a lot of time. Like sometimes it's months and sometimes it's years. But I have seen very quick changes in the people who put their intensity to what they're doing.
So when your thought process change, your handwriting change. That's what I
Yes,
say.
yes,
So
yes.
So, how we can recognize people who we want to work with by just looking at their handwriting?
So, a very simple way I can say is if their handwriting matches with your handwriting. Yeah, in layman's language, that is what I can say. But again, as I said, a lot of belief systems and subconscious patterns are put into the writing. So, unless I do the exact analysis, we cannot say it.
What are the traits that we can look at their handwriting in order to work together?
I could say it's a little tricky one, okay? Because when we say handwriting, some people say they write different writings, different handwritings. So, to certain extent, it is true. When you begin something to start newly in a page, right? You are very conscious about it and you tend to write it neatly. But as the handwriting goes, as the time passes, your natural handwriting starts to flow. So, like how you are asking, it's not possible to exactly see one's handwriting and immediately say whether I can gel with that person or not, because we don't know whether they are writing from their conscious mind. Is that their natural handwriting, or it is just the starting paragraph? So I have seen a lot of difference when I want to do a deep study of the handwriting. Usually I take a writing full of the A4 page.
Okay.
That is because by the end of the A4 page, the natural writing starts flowing. So that is where our traits are hidden.
All right, people, if you want to know anything, give them an A4 size paper and then look at the end of it. So, how we can, as women especially, you have worked with lots of women, can you tell us how we can reverse engineer our mind to overcome our emotional barriers that we have on our day to day life?
Yeah. See, when we are talking about women, right, there are a lot of limitations placed on the way she behaves. Yeah. I come from an Indian society, so I know like how much I have been impacted by that. So the first and foremost, the first thing they tell you is listen to your elders. At least, like I was born in the 70s, so that I grew up. So because nowadays kids don't listen to their parents, and it is fine. But when I was growing up, that was a norm. That whatever the elders say, we listen to it, and we don't ask questions.
Is it still like that?
My son is allowed to ask me any question for that matter. I have given him that freedom. So when we were growing up, I'm just explaining you the scenario how the belief system starts happening when you're growing up. So what happens? You are told to not to raise your voice, to listen to your elders, and to accept the situation the way it is and don't question it. So what is happening? And believe me, they make us feel guilty for being happy also. And they tell us, they put a label that you are selfish if we are thinking about our own happiness. So all these things were on my mind when I was growing up. And what happens in a long run, we start to think this is the normal life. And if someone is shouting on us just because we are women, we are told to keep quiet, not to question it. Okay. So what happens? Many women end up thinking this is normal and they suffer from it. Inside they are suffering, but they are not able to express themselves. So their self-esteem, what you know about yourself, like what you're telling others how to treat you. If you're keeping quiet when someone is shouting on you unnecessarily, you're giving them the permission to treat us in that way. So that's how the advantage is taken by others. So one of the main thing is the low self-esteem. Another one, because of it, you develop inferiority complex. The way we look, our physical body, even when you grow up, you become more conscious, and that impacts how you behave in a social scenario. So these are all the belief system that act inside a woman. If you want to come out of this, definitely when I say graphotherapy, what we say is a person personality traits is a whole thing. We cannot say that okay, you write this letter and it will be improved. What we do is we empower their mind to become strong. When a mind is empowered, it will take care of all other things, like it will give you the strength to handle the situations, to handle the people. So in handwriting, we work towards empowering the mind. So once the mind is empowered, everything falls in place. That is how we give the graphotherapy. So emotionally, like if you want to ask me, yes, we do have particular letters associated with it. Like mainly when it comes to personality traits, the letter T, the letter Y, and the letter I, they play a very important.
Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, when I said handwriting comes from your subconscious mind, we say it is not your handwriting, it is your brain writing. Okay? Someone who has not learned how to write, his hands cannot write. Only when the brain knows how to write, your hands will write. So we term it as a brain writing. So the way we form our strokes tells us what your brain wants to tell you. See, the brain cannot tell you things directly. Okay. And there are many forms of expression, to be frank. There are some people go for painting, some people go for music, some like to sing. But what majority of people can do is write. So I say writing is a form of expression. When we write, the brain expresses itself. If we are little bit aware about ourselves, what we are feeling, we can easily identify what our brain is trying to tell us. Our brain is aware about the things happening inside us. Okay. So this is what I can tell. And you said these letters, how to write these letters, right? So, like I said, these are the letters we look when we want to gauge the person's emotions and relationships, especially. But like I said, we cannot say that just by changing these letters, everything will fall in place. So, there are various types of we write. The first one has the top, the bar is at the top. The second one is like little bit above 50%. There are different types of T's, how the people write. So, if you want to become assertive, go with this T. If someone is writing this letter like this kind of T with a gap in the stem, okay, it shows they're self-critical. They judge themselves too much.
Just by writing one letter, it doesn't change everything. Can we try to learn in write in certain way, and would it change our brain story?
Yes. When we give graphotherapy, it takes only 15 minutes for a person to write. The belief systems or the subconscious mind, right? So, what happens? You're writing with your hand the strokes, whatever we give. If you still think I am not that. It is very important to know who you are as a person. So, handwriting analysis will help you to do that, and it gives you the courage to express. So, on a daily basis, I can suggest to say the affirmations, okay, and I can ask you to write the patterns in graphotherapy and believe in yourself. See, no human being is perfect. And only when you compare yourself with someone, that's when you feel whether you match them or you are below them. So stop comparing yourself with anyone and look back in your life what you want. First and foremost, accept yourself the way you are. Okay. In Indian society, believe me, like whoever is little bit dark skinned, like they are seen a little bit low, like they are not beautiful. For a woman to look beautiful is the first priority. That's what I feel. Growing up, it bothered me. Growing up, it did bother me, but I learned to accept it. So, the first step towards any change is accepting the way you are. No human being is perfect. And the simple exercise for it is as soon as you wake up, you can go stand in front of the mirror and you can say, I accept myself and I love myself the way I am. So, this is one thing you can do on a daily basis. And if you come to graphotherapy, writing every day will increase your expression quotient. Once you start expressing yourself, whatever doubts you have, right, they start coming out. Whatever negative thinking you have within yourself, they start coming out. And apart from this, like when I said stop comparing yourself, that is also a step towards the change. These three I can tell: accept yourself, write graphotherapy, and don't compare yourself with anyone. So, these
So
are
when
very easy things to do on a daily basis.
So the moment we change our behavior, and we get to see the way we write also change. Is there a type of writing that you would say that would help us as women to build confidence?
Okay. So I say, like I said, the letter T, I, and I. These are the important letters. When I say relationship, right? People tend to think relationship with others.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
But I would say the most important relationship is the relationship you have to yourself. How many times you have criticized yourself on a daily basis? We call it something as a self talk. Many people think I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not beautiful enough. Maybe because I'm like this, people are treating me like this. So all this self talk, right? That will push you down. That confidence level will push you down. So, like I said, this is the key. The key.
The day your brain accepts that T, you have changed.
Yes.
Can you show us the Y and I's?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So when it Y says more about what kind of relationship you are fit for.
Okay.
Okay. So
So this is the key point here. Make the other party that you want to have relationship to
yes.
why and compare with your why. If they ask why, just refer them to Vijaya and Vijaya will take care of it.
Yes, yes. I even do the couple analysis if anyone want to become partners in life. Okay. The differences are always there. But whether they are ready to work around the difference and take the relationship further, or are they dead against? This analysis can help the couple to know the
That's right.
differences. If they are able to accept and respect it, then there is always a way. If they are not ready to accept them, then you can decide what to do.
Okay.
So it's like instead of going to counseling when things are not working out after you're being in a relationship, so I can help the couples to know their differences, because in the time it goes like this, Prema. When you're in a relationship, you see that person for some part of the day, and it might not be in a homely environment, maybe outside, but unless you stay with a person 24 bar 7 for few days, you cannot understand that. That's what my perspective is, because people project a different personality when they are in a social scenario. So when you are at home, most people are themselves. So in a relationship, if a couple wants to know whether they are compatible or not, leave about handwriting, leave about any type of analysis. Just for a minute, think, can you be yourself with that person? Can you be with your all the weaknesses? Can you be with that person with your vulnerability?
Yeah, this applies to all kind of relationships.
Yes,
I
all
think
kind of relationships.
in our modern society, which is really fast now compared to our grandparents and parents' time, we have mobiles and we have internet, and it's completely fast. It's super fast, and we don't take that moment. We don't show the respect for the time
Yes.
to take this thought process and sit and think about it. Like the thinking time is not there, the feeling time is not there for us to come to a conclusion. Can I be myself? I overanalyze when I go in front of someone else. It's
Right.
like I try to fit, or I try to listen to the noises around me, the external noises in many forms, and then it changes the brain chemistry, like you just say. And that will be a nice point to say that just think for a moment, take a step back and think for a moment if you can be, or if you are being yourself in this situation. If not, what can we do?
Yeah, that's the very easiest way to know, I can say.
Just take a moment and say, okay, we are not ourselves. Let's just go. I'm sure they're not going to invite me again for the lunch. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
So, as human beings, we are always afraid of being judged. That's why we tend to fit in, like you say. I have the whys over here. So, this is the first type of why people write like this whys. These are some of the strongest, mentally strongest people, but they are not relationship material. If you want to be with a person long term basis, this is the why you need to look. So it has a balanced loop. It has a balanced loop. The width of this part and this part is almost similar. So
Okay.
this is a kind of why you can look for at the first glance. Okay. So always we have the fear of being judged. So these are the different types of why. Okay. So this person with little bit push can become good in relationships. Okay. And some people don't like to be in a social scenario. They're introverts mostly, but we cannot judge by this alone. We will have to look for some other things in the letters, and only then we can say.
Yeah, but this is a good start to begin
Yes.
with. Ladies, please don't become very stubborn thinking that this
Yeah.
is the end. If you
Yes.
don't understand anything, please contact me with your A4 paper.
Yeah, with a A4 paper full of their handwriting.
Okay. How
And
about the last one?
yeah, whoever tends to write this type of why, they're more invested in their past. They're not living in the present. They are living in their past.
I need to go check all my voice. I do understand. I
Yes.
completely understand. You know, sometimes with the different pen, my writing change differently. When I'm in a different mood, my writing change differently. And I can tell that I want to write in certain way. And
Yeah.
it will become like that.
Yes.
Now I understand how and why, P and why, what happened.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
that is very, very intriguing.
and when we analyze the handwriting, we don't look for any beauty or neatness in that. We look for the stroke, how they are formed, what is the slant, what is the pressure. All these elements come into picture.
But wouldn't the pen or the whatever we used to write, wouldn't that also contribute at that point of time?
Yeah, it does contribute. It does contribute. But when we take a handwriting sample for, especially for analysis, right? So we specifically ask them to use ball pen. So that's the true thing. Because if you use sketch pen or any gel pen, right? It's we can still find out the traits. I'm not saying we can't find out. Only thing is traits we can be absolutely sure. When it comes to health part, we cannot analyze it properly when you're writing with a sketch pen or a gel pen.
Oh,
Yeah.
tell me more about the health part of handwriting.
So you will be amazed to what extent we can define a person's health. Person can have any number of diseases developing inside him. Okay, we go to the doctor only when we see the effects, when it has already become a disease. A person is feeling dizzy, feeling tired. He goes to the doctor does some tests and says, okay, you have hypertension or high blood pressure. So this high blood pressure would have not developed 2 or 3 days back or 2 or 3 months back. It would have been developing since maybe like a year in some people. Only when the body and mind are not able to manage that situation, it comes out as a disease. Your body has a self-healing methodologies. Your body will apply it, but only thing is if the right environment is provided. For example, take a working professional who works 16 hours a day or more than 12 hours a day. So he is not giving proper rest to his body or mind. There are people who come back from office, again start working. Even if they are not working, their mind is still thinking about the office thing. Okay, see what is happening, their body and mind, they are not getting enough rest. So the stress builds up slowly. One day the body will manage, 2 days the body will manage. The body will manage once the weekend hits. Okay, but if you don't have any exercise in place, right diet, right rest, eventually that is going to become a problem. So in the initial time, the body will manage, the mind will manage. It will think, okay, there is some emergency, so I will do that. But you cannot be always in the emergency state. So what happens always like a human being is in fight or flight mode, right? So it comes from the way the human evolution had happened. So earlier in the caveman situation, the biggest problems in life were protection, security, and food. Those were the only two elements which people used to worried about, whether they are getting the food and whether they will be alive tomorrow or not. Okay, so once they get the food, once they are securely inside the cave, their brain activity used to come down and that it used to take rest. So that was how it was built. But in a modern scenario, though all these things are taken care, the stress is coming from validation or proving yourself to your boss or showing that I am working. It has become a fashion for some people to be in the office even after working hours. Yeah. So those people think that being in office, working, even after working hours, their manager will think their productivity is more. I can tell the way you place the dot on the I says whether you're irritated towards others or towards yourself or towards the situation or towards the past. So we should take how this irritation carries forward. It's not one thing, how the problems develop in a body.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this dot shows how we manifest problems in our body.
Yeah, yeah. Unknowingly. That is a type of manifesting. So this is a type of eye where the dot is in the form of a circle.
Okay.
It's a small circle on the eye. So these people tend to be very creative. And another way of telling is these people want to differentiate themselves from others. And some people to go to an extent that they take up the hardest things in life to prove themselves, to prove that they are different. So how much pressure they are putting on themselves, they don't know. If used properly, this creativity is a very good trait. But if you overdo it, it affects your health. It's a stroke. It's a line, small line. So though these people want to live in the future and they are irritated towards other people because they have certain situation, they think it is because of others. Okay. And this scenario, people are unhappy about their past. Okay. And so this I can say is a good way to write your eye. What we say in handwriting, we stack the traits. Okay. Sometimes a personality trait doesn't expose itself in one letter. Okay. So what we do then, we stack one letter, the trait of another letter and the trait of another letter. It will become a trait. This is a part. That's it. Where it shows, this shows creativity, these things show irritations. So how these things in the long run affect your health. Okay. Like I said, you have been writing from your subconscious mind from childhood. As you grow up, for many people, the handwriting doesn't change much for most of the people. And if any life turning situation happens, we can see some major changes in the handwriting. Otherwise, almost 50 to 60% of the writing remains same in any individual. When we say handwriting, when I analyze handwriting, I can tell a little bit about the past, but majority I will be able to tell what is their current situation in life. So it's about the present. The present, when I said handwriting is a brain writing, right? So whatever the brain is writing now is your current situation. So, and what other health or the diseases we can say are developing inside a body will range from whether you'll have a thyroid problem or you'll have a high blood sugar to the extent of what are the chances of developing cancer.
Wow. And you can catch this earlier by just looking at someone's handwriting.
Yes. What we can say is, when I say it's like in a stage of development, we cannot predict it will go and happen, but we can predict the chances. If it is not taken care and if it is left in the same way, there are high chances of development.
Beautiful. That's a good information to have
Yes.
if we are in the earlier stages.
Yes.
But this is not anything to do with any kind of diagnosis of health.
See, whenever a person develops a cancer, it starts with cells becoming bigger and bigger, certain set of cells. So unless it starts affecting the body's immune system, it doesn't show itself as a disease. Okay. So for many people, they can diagnose it only when it becomes malignant. Okay. And one more thing about it, it's nowhere related to my handwriting. But if someone comes to know they have cancer, I would suggest please don't go for a biopsy. I think our Guruji Pashupati also has mentioned it in a video. When they poke the cancer cells, it starts spreading.
So let's go back to our emotion on our daily basis. Let's imagine a woman who's having a high stress life, a mother with young kids. What can she do every day to bring herself down, apart from the affirmation that you have given to her? If she's out there looking for help, how she can ask for help without being so loud through a handwriting practice, perhaps? If you have something, let us know.
Okay. When it comes to a stress, I would say stress is a consequence. It's a result of something which you are not able to handle. Stress is not never a cause, it's a consequence. When the life doesn't go the way you thought it should go, that's when the stress starts to build in your life. Now, you said about a young mother, okay? So, the thing with the kids is you need more people if you have kids in the house. So before you now there are more and more nuclear families. So the mother is not getting the support required to look after the kids. Okay. So the best thing would be asking for help. The first and foremost, asking for help. You have a partner, you can divide the work based around the kids' needs. That is one way. So the second way, if the partner is not able to help, take help of your own family if someone can spend some time. And when it comes to handwriting, we have patterns which will calm you down. There are patterns which I can show you to bring down the. So, this is one such thing. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, when we say about stress, it's not just one thing. We aim at empowering the mind so that the mind will handle that thing for you.
Yes.
Okay. And
So that particular pattern, that was like you continue.
yes, yeah. Okay.
What happens when you write that?
It basically makes you feel calmer.
How
Okay.
long should we do that for?
We ask to write a one page full, which might somewhere consist of the set of four use for 11 lines, four times, around 50 times. Okay. And one more thing, when you're a mother of young kids, you need lot of energy. Okay. So maintain a healthy diet which gives you energy. So when you feel tired is when you feel stressed. Yeah. So there are a lot, right. So there are a lot of things contributing to it. But so since you asked the stress part, I'm just telling you, and meditating for some time is also a magic, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. With the young kids, it's kind of running around, jumping
Yes.
around. But of course, that comes back to a collaboration situation between
Yes.
you and people that you live with. All you need to do is set a frame to say that, well, I'm going to do this. Please help me.
Yeah.
That's the way to ask for help. Just
Yes.
ask.
Just ask.
Just
Right.
go out there and say, "This is my intention. This is what I want to do. I need 10 minutes of your time so that I can do this." And go out there and do
Yeah.
what you need to do, and have some moments for you every now and then.
Right. So when the couple has to plan to have kids,
Okay.
that's what I can say. Proper planning is required because it needs a lot of energy, it requires a lot of time, and the whole routine of yours is going to change. You'll have sleepless nights. So it's better to know whether you're ready for all this. And like I said, yes, please ask for help when required.
So, what are the 3 ways for us to write in a way so that we can co-create with others without losing our personal trait?
Okay. So, like I said, your T and your Y, keep them the way I said. And when you accept yourself the way you are, you don't care about what others think about you. That in itself is the greatest power you can give yourself. Like you said, we try to fit in, right? That's where we lower our standards. We like to project something which we are not, and the friction starts there. Handwriting is a very vast subject, but yeah, whatever I could tell in this short span of time, I think I have made justice to it. If anyone wants anything in detail, yes, they can always contact me.
Yeah, we will place your contact details in the description, and please reach out to Vijaya if you have more questions about your handwriting and the way you want to live your life and analyze your whole life, whether it's partnership, friendship, relationship. So she has lots of tips to give you. Whatever we shared here is just a tip of iceberg. Do not take this and say that this is the end of it. So if you want the full conclusion about your handwriting, reach out to Vijaya. She's happy to help.